Chapter 4. Kurt's plan to end his marriage makes me nostalgic for my own lost life. I'm in the neighborhood of the house where I lived with Penny and her mom. I could walk there blindfolded. It would be quicker to take the perp walks, but I've lived through enough shortcuts for one lifetime. Lights burn in 218 Clover Street. The garage door is closed. A black four-door sedan is parked in the driveway. I don't want to be seen by the owners, who have been pestered by reporters for living at the address I had helpfully provided Rick Dawkins. I stand in the shadows watching the house. In a matter of moments, I'm ready to go home. I don't belong here anymore. And then, to both my delight and my misgiving, Penny and Randall approach from the east. They're talking, not holding hands, just out for a walk on the perp walk link between Chapman and Clover. They don't see me. "This is where I used to live," I hear Penny say. "My mom was a doctor." "A pediatrician, to be exact," I butt in from the shadows. Randall is a couple years older than Penny. He's added a little arrowhead soul patch just below his mouth, but he's removed the eyebrow stud. At Bucksco, I've seen in him personality traits that are both earnest and untrustworthy. He considers me his time travel mentor, albeit a reluctant one, and he works on me diligently to reduce the reluctance. At the same time, he steals merchandise with felonious regularity and breaks store rules like I'm just another dumb kid who won't rat him out, not his girlfriend's father whom he wants to impress. And when circumstances don't go his way, I've witnessed his willingness to use violence on anything close at hand. "Dad," he greets me only semi-ironically. "Where have you been?" I say to Penny. "Does this look like me?" she asks, presenting an Illinois driver's license. Mary O'Connell, 4 inches shorter than Penny, 4 years older. "She's female," I say. She studies the ID in the moonlight. "I could make it work," she says. "She's nowhere near as pretty," I say. "Yeah, pretty has really been a big help to me," Penny says. She puts the license away. "I can buy a Social Security number for $2,000. "She should hit up her first mom," Randall said. "She's a doctor." Penny and I look at each other, then at Randall. The weird gap in his thought processing is not enough to chill her enthusiasm for him. Randall does recon for me without my asking. "Imagine what I'd do if you asked," he says. It is both an endearment and a threat. "Anyway, she's not my mom anymore." Penny points at me. "I'm stuck with this in the parent department." "Benny Jr. told me about your job." "Great, huh?" "Come home with me," I say. "There's actually a thriving homeless community in Euclid Heights," Penny says. "I'm a celebrity." "Are you staying with Randall?" "I wish," Randall says. Penny sets off at a run, back down the perp walk link toward Chapman. "Pen!" I cry out. Randall grabs my arm. "See if she goes through," he says. She reaches the far end of the link without incident and dejectedly walks back. "Please don't do that," I say. "I want to go somewhere people remember me." Before I can say anything, an apple falls right in front of us. It hits the perp walk and bounces, making a fat, juicy sound. There are no apple trees nearby. Randall picks up the apple. "Where'd this come from?" he asks, looking upward. He presents the apple to Penny, who seems unsure about touching it. 1918, I say. She flips the apple to me. Randall intercepts it. "Wait, what?" he says, spinning between my daughter and me. "This apple came from 1918? How?" "All this used to be orchards," I say. "So, what? Someone threw it then and it came out now? Or it dropped from a branch?" He dips his toe onto the perp walk surface, touching it once, twice. "Oh, man!" He giggles and grabs his head in his hands. "Oh, wow! That's why I don't go on them now," I say. Randall jumps onto the walk with both feet, fists balled. Nothing happens. Penny shakes her fake license at us. "If I were Mary O'Connell, I could get a car loan and drive where I wanted to go," she says. "Walking sucks." "No sweat," Randall says. He fishes a key ring out of his pocket and walks to the black sedan in the driveway at 218 Clover. The interior light activates when he opens the driver's door. Who bothers to lock a car in their Euclid Heights driveway? Nothing ever happens here. Randall slips behind the wheel, inserts a strip of matte black metal into the ignition, and starts the engine. "Universal key," he says. "A guy made me one." "Turn it off. Time's ticking," Randall says. He pats the seat beside him, eyes on Penny. "I'm not going to jail," I say. Penny makes a move for the front passenger seat. I block her. Think about what you're doing, I say. We aren't in the car yet. Penny and I are still law-abiding citizens. We don't have to go down this path. But in that hesitation, in that complication of the possibility, Penny slips behind me and takes the seat behind the driver, and rather than be left behind or leave my daughter to the care of a car thief, I jump into the seat next to him. Yeah, Dad's on board, Randall says, pounding a fist on the dash. Let's pop this top. We'll drop it off a couple of blocks from the apartment, Penny says. We roll backward into the street. Randall sets us on a heading for Collier. Mischief gleams in his eye. Something occurs to me. Why were you in court that day, I ask. Fate. No, really. I was meant to meet you, and Penny, he says. Call me Mary. Seriously. Don't push it, Dad, Randall says. You think Bucks would hire me if I did something really bad? Like stealing a car? You're riding in it too, Randall points out. At Collier, I'm about to send him left toward downtown and home, but Penny says, I want to try out my new ID. Randall drives us to a convenience store. The parking lot is empty. Pushing through the store's door, Penny says, Remember, I'm Mary. She slaps down money and asks for a pack of cigarettes, following the request with a world-weary flip of her fake ID onto the green-nubbed change pad. The cashier barely glances at it. Mary, I wish you wouldn't smoke, Mary, I say. Randall is out of the car and waiting by the street, hands casually in his pockets. When he sees us, he hurries to get back behind the wheel. When did you start smoking? I ask Penny when we are on the move again. Mary. When did you start smoking, Mary? I dabbled in my previous life, she says. Girl stuff. Since I don't exist now, who can it hurt? We come to Southwest Highway and bear right toward downtown. Can you help me get $2,000? Just having the number won't help, I say. You need the history. I need the number to start making the history. Popo, Randall says under his breath. In the lane to our right is a Euclid Heights police car, big as life, so suddenly in my awareness that it might have arrived from another time. I've still got the apple that fell onto the perp walk, and I hold it up with two hands like I'm savoring it, and what is more innocent than a man about to eat an apple? Where we grew up and where my father died, and where Kurt and Colleen lived when they got the house and I moved away into this new version of my life. They seemed happy. Plenty of summer evenings I had seen Colleen in short shorts and flip-flops washing the car or squatting to pinch bagworms off the arbor vitae, a martini mixed fresh and icy and waiting for her husband, who always arrived with a smile and a big kiss. Come in with me, he says. Nah, I say, backing away. You should tell her. I cross Collier and venture into the park shadows. The ground is crusty with dried goose turds. I watch Kurt on the porch as he hunts for his key, like I'm afraid to leave until he's safely inside. To my left, down at the end of the block, is the old library. Behind me, already lit up for the evening swimmers, is the pool where the previous Kurt almost drowned because of my mortal enemy who no longer exists. Never has. The door to the house opens. Colleen holds a goblet of white Zinfandel, which the light from the living room turns into a fat, pale ruby resting in her palm. The kiss she gives her husband is one I imagine he could live on for a while in Venezuela.